Unit 8.6 comes from Chapter 11, Section 6 in your book. Now, you will see some things that we did on the very last section. I think it's 10.1. And so the very first three, this video is going to cover the first three problems, which are review. So if you were absent last time, there's a couple of you who were absent. This will show you how to bisect a segment, how to construct a perpendicular, how to construct a perpendicular through a point not on the line. So here's the first thing we do. If I want to bisect LM, I need to put my bullseye on L, and I need to make sure my holder is over halfway. I'm going to write it on the side, over halfway. So that means when I see the bullseye and that little dot is over the L, I put my finger on it. I need to make sure my holder is more than half of that line. It doesn't matter how much bigger it is. As long as it's going to touch this line, I'm good with it. It has to be over halfway. If it is, then what I want you to do is tighten your slider, tighten it up, and you are going to make a nice half circle from point L as your center. Yes, sir?
Does it matter if you start from M?
Nope. Because guess what the next center is that I'm going to do? Where's the bullseye go next? M. So you're going to have to do it from either one, and you want the distances to be the same. If you have the same distance, they are equidistant from the same point. Now I have the same distance and it's over halfway. If it wasn't halfway or over halfway, you wouldn't have these two intersections. You get these two circles that were the same as each other. Do you know what your last step is? Between which 2 points?
Oh, those by the crossed ones.
Where you see these X's, that's where you're going to connect the dots. And this creates a perpendicular bisector. Not only does it cut it into two equal pieces, but it's also perpendicular. So I'm going to make these two markings for you. This is the same as that, and it's perpendicular. Junior.
So this will be on the test?
There will be one of these on the test where you're going to have to create one. You're going to also have, I want to say there's at least two constructions open-ended, and there's two on the multiple choice.
Not even that one we have to go like sideways like that.
Possibly. It could be any direction. That's the thing. I want you to know this works if it's sideways or vertical or diagonal. We can do it for anything. Okay? Number 2. Construct a perpendicular through K. Now, what was easy about this one is that I had 2 points that are the same distance apart from here. Now, what K doesn't have, K does not have 2 equidistant points. So the very first thing we have to do is create these 2 equidistant points away from K. What I would do if I were you is I'd put your bullseye on K. And then what I would do is I would adjust your slider until you have the holder on the line, somewhere on the line. It doesn't matter where, but I'm going to take my slider and I'm going to put it right here on the line. And I now have a point here, and I'm going to go all the way around. I got a circle. Now I have a point here and a point here that are equidistant apart. Do not assume that K is in the exact middle of this line, because it's not. So now we have a mathematical way to know we have 2 points that are the same distance apart. So let me just tell you, let's label this intersection as L. And let's label this other intersection as M.
Wait, Mr. Parma, did you make that half circle from K?
I made the half circle as K as the center. Yes. And the reason why I label these L and M is because if you were to go back up here, now you have 2 points that are equidistant apart. Can we make a perpendicular through it? I mean, this construction here that you just did, now it's here. Now you have your L and M, and you have 2 equidistant points. Let's finish it. Where does the bullseye go next? Wait, well, first we put the bullseye on L, and then we have to do something that we wrote down before. More than halfway with our slider. So we have to go more than halfway between K and M. So I want the holder somewhere in between. Tighten it up. My bullseye is directly on L, and now I have my holder that's going to be more than halfway, and I'm going to make a semicircle. And it's almost like magic when we do this stuff. Where does my bullseye go next?
On M.
Exactly. M. Then I put my finger on it, hold it down, and I make another semicircle. And if you do this right, it's almost like magic where you see this X and that X, and guess what it's going to go through?
Okay.
Perfect. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. It's not by chance, it's mathematical. And your parents, if you were to say, "What'd you learn in school today?" I made some circles. This is the weirdest kind of math that you're going to learn because somebody has thought of a way to go through and create these things from, remember what this is? From string is really what it comes from. Without a protractor, well, we wouldn't use that nowadays, I know, but let's try to think like they used to think. This is perpendicular. It's also a bisector, by the way. Number 3, last one.
Do we have to put like the 90-degree angle box and stuff?
I like to put it there because that's what it is. You do not have to put it there, though. Number 3. Now we have this point that is floating above this line, and we needed something perpendicular that goes through that point without a protractor and stuff. So here's what I want you to do. We need 2 equidistant points away from it. We don't have that. So I want you to put your bullseye on P and make sure your holder is going to hit both sides of the line. Is your holder going to touch your line in 2 spots? If it is, make an arc. I like it. I'm going to make an arc here. This is kind of like the happy face. As long as your holder touches in 2 spots, you're good. Now I actually have 2 points that are equidistant from point P. This intersection here and this intersection here is the same distance from P that are from each other. So let's label it, and I'm going to do the same 2 letters, and I'm sorry that it's getting monotonous, but that way you can see. Let's call this L. Let's call this M. This is the same one you just did. This is a bisector. It's a perpendicular bisector. L and M. We can do the same one we did above it now. We can do the same one we did above that one. Do you know what we're going to do next? Where's the bullseye go next? And then what's important about this when I'm doing a bisector, what do I have to do with my slider?
More than halfway.
More than halfway. Adjust it a little bit wider than halfway. Make your arc from L. From L, make your arc. I'll move my, there's my Do you like it when I leave the ruler on it, or do you like me to remove my ruler from it? I'm sure. What do you like?
Doesn't matter.
Do you like it like this, or do you like it like that? When I'm showing you what I just did, I like to leave it there so you can kind of get an idea of what it is without my fingers in the way. Do you know what the next bullseye is going to be? Good. If you said M, you are correct. Same distance. Equidistant. And if you do this right, magically, but not really magic, maybe mathemagic, it will go from this point to this point. It should go directly through point P. Boom. It's perpendicular. It's a perfect, beautiful 90-degree angle. I'm going to stop your notes right there.